Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and today we are going to be talking about something that never really crossed my mind that much until I watched a video that one of my main guys, Superwise, put out called "It's Time for Batman to Wear the Blue-Grey Suit in the DCU," and it inspired me to quickly put something together where I am going to be taking a look at the evolution of the Batsuit in live action, and while I feel it's time for the classic blue and grey suit to return to Batman movies. So this video is dedicated to Superwise, and a special shout out and thank you to him for inspiring me to put this together. So let's have a look at the evolution of the Batsuit, and then after that we're going to talk about why it's time for the classic blue and grey suit to return to Batman movies. So it's been exactly 57 years now since Batman wore the classic blue and grey costume in live action, and the Batsuit has undergone a very interesting evolution, to say the very least. So in 1989, in the first Tim Burton Batman movie, Tim Burton ditched all bright colours in favour of an all-black suit, and as we all know, Michael Keaton played Batman in the first two Batman movies, and in my honest opinion, I like the Tim Burton Batsuit. It's a classic, and it just looked incredible for its time. However, over the years, I felt that the Batsuit has never really stayed completely true to the comic books. It's got darker and darker to the point where you almost couldn't see anything. And most of the Batman movies have pretty much stayed in an all-black suit. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, Batman is supposed to be a creature of the night, a shadowy figure, so he's supposed to be all in black. And I felt that the movies never really showed you a comic book accurate suit of Batman. You know, I always hoped we would see something like that, but over the years the Batsuits have got more and more darker, and at times, how shall I put it, very silly and cringeworthy. But also the Batsuits have undergone a very interesting evolution, as I mentioned already. They've gone from being a rubber suit to more like body armor, so it's not necessarily like a suit in the superhero traditional sense. It's more like a suit of armor. And again, all of the Batsuits that we've had over the years, they've all looked great, but me being the comic book geek that I am, I really wanted to see a comic book accurate look of the Batsuit. And my prayers were finally answered in 2016 when Ben Affleck was cast to play Batman in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and we had quite possibly the most comic book accurate Batsuit to ever hit the big screen. It looked exactly like Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns costume, and it just looked absolutely fantastic. And for me, that's the closest thing we have ever got to comic book accuracy. I think it just looked incredible, and I really wanted to see more of that. Then when you get to the Matt Reeves Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, there was nothing wrong with his Batsuit. I understand and respect that it's supposed to be Batman in his early years, so we're not quite going to see the Batsuit that we know just yet. But again, I felt like we just went 10 steps backwards. You know, we went from finally getting a comic book accurate Batman in Ben Affleck to now just going back to, 1989 in all black. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with Robert Pattinson's Batsuit. It looked great, but it just wasn't quite comic book accuracy for me. So why I think the blue and grey Batsuit should return to the big screen is, for starters, the colours are iconic. Don't get me wrong, I love the black and grey. It's very special to me. I grew up with that. But I think from an iconic point of view, I just think the time is now to bring the iconic colours of blue and grey back to the big screen. You don't necessarily have to make it like the Adam West Batman costume. I know when people think of blue and grey, they automatically think of that, which is understandable. I think what you could do with the blue and grey is make it something close to Ben Affleck's Batsuit, but just make some changes around it. So instead of it being black and grey, make it blue and grey, but a little bit more darker. And, you know, me and one of my good friends, who you know as Geeker Beyond, we talked about this for many years. Why not have a contrast of balance in the Batman movies? Dark storytelling and bright, colourful costumes. But you don't want it to look like it's just blinding your eyes sort of thing. So there's a nice balance. So good storytelling with a twinge of darkness and colourful costumes. Because for me, the blue and grey, in terms of the costume, if you look back at late 70s to the mid 80s of comic books of Batman, some of the best stories ever told were Batman wearing the blue and grey. So that's why I think it makes perfect sense to bring that back in the DCU, and especially as James Gunn is already going the full 9 yards, going down a whole new path and bringing in a new actor to play Batman and a new actor to play Superman and etc. And I think this could be the way to do it, because, you know, I'm done with all black. We've had too much of that. Would I like to see more of black and grey? Absolutely. It's my favourite costume. It's definitely up there with the Batman Beyond suit, but I think, for me personally, I wouldn't say no to seeing the blue and grey. It's been far too long, and I think you could bring some of that older, hardcore demographic fan base of Batman fans who are probably yearning to see that suit. So I think it could work. Make it something close to Ben Affleck's Batsuit, but obviously different. But so when you look at it and you think, yeah, that's Batman. Hell, I wouldn't even say no to seeing the yellow oval back on the bat symbol on his chest. I think that would be cool, because that's very, very iconic. That's definitely up there with Superman's shield, in my opinion. But I think the time is now to bring the classic blue and grey back to Batman movies, and I think it will look phenomenal on the big screen. Some people might find it a bit corny, but it's Batman, so I think it could work. Dark storytelling and colourful costumes. Can't beat it. So that's going to be it for me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your thoughts on the possibility of the classic blue and grey Batsuit returning to Batman movies? Would you welcome it? How would you want it to look? Would you want it to look something like Ben Affleck's Batsuit, or would you like it to look something more close to Frank Miller's style of Batsuits? How would you make it work? And more importantly, do you like the idea of possibly dark storytelling and colourful costumes? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care everybody and stay safe, and once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.